Joined now by former U.S. Senator George Lemieux to talk about the charitable donations that have been made in the wake of the Parkland shooting. A lot of money has been donated, and the senator is part of a group that's going to decide how that money is distributed. We're glad that you're here. First of all, how much money are we talking about? So far, about
$7.5 million has been raised. This is due to the compassion of the people of South Florida and really around the country, and we expect to raise more. Now, besides raising the money, which is this steering committee that I have the privilege of chairing, is also helping with, we're going to distribute those dollars, and we're going to go by a protocol. We're going to use a protocol that's been developed by the National Compassion Fund. We have a draft protocol. Tomorrow we'll have 2 town hall meetings at Nova Southeastern that we welcome the public to come to. The reason we're having these is we want to present this draft protocol and get feedback from the community. One's at 12:30 and one's at 6:30 at the Rick Case Arena. All of this information is on the Stoneman Douglas Victims Fund .org website, and we encourage everyone to go to that.
Definitely, it's going to generate a lot of interest, and I know there are still some things being worked out, but how are you going to determine how much money is going to be distributed to each person, what it's going to be spent on, that kind of thing? Is that all going to be worked out in those public forums? Or?
Well, we're going to take input tomorrow, and then the steering committee will meet together again. Unfortunately, there have been plenty of mass shootings, and we're working with the Compassion Fund because they've developed these protocols in the past, and they're giving us guidance. Jeff Dion, who is the head of that, is actually from South Florida, although he works here in Washington, D.C. So we'll take the information in. Right now, we're looking at 4 different categories. One, first and foremost, if someone was murdered on the property, a teacher or a student, the families of those folks would get the most. After that, we're going to look at people who have been in the hospital, who were injured from that day. The third category are people who went for emergency outpatient treatment because they were injured. And the fourth are those who've experienced mental anguish. It's not lost on us that this was a war zone inside that building, in Building 1200 at Stoneman Douglas High School. So we're going to, as the draft protocol shows, we need to get input from the public, is that we would allot funds for people who were in that building, presume that they had mental anguish, and then anybody else on the campus who has sought counseling or mental health treatment by May 1st, they would also receive some dollars to go towards their care.
So the process would be to file a claim with the fund, and then the claims would be considered? Is that the way it'll work?
Absolutely. And on the nationalcompassionfund.org website, there's information about not only this protocol I described, but also those forms that people can fill out. You can get there by the Stoneman Douglas Victimsfund.org website as well. And they'll fill out a form. There's going to be a claims process. We're going to finalize in the next couple weeks the protocol, receive those claims. Those claims will be vetted, and then we hope to distribute the money in July.
And there are so many people who were affected by this tragedy here in South Florida. Are you confident that there will be enough funds to go around for people who really need that help?
Well, what we're raising, and I hope, and I want everyone who's watching this to go to StonemanDouglasVictimsFund.org if they haven't already contributed, and please contribute. This is part of a continuum of care and funding. There are other sources of funding. You just featured a story where one family's doing a fundraising effort, for in the memory of one of the victims. There's all sorts of funding. There's funding through the Attorney General's office. There's funding through victim centers. So we're just one piece of that. Our goal is to make sure that this money that's been donated is distributed in a fair, open, and transparent way for the best interest of the families and the victims.
You mentioned the protocol that unfortunately has been established by prior events like the shooting in Vegas. I remember covering years ago the Victims Fund after the 9/11 attack in New York City. And a lot of the people that applied for those funds and submitted claims, they're going to have long-term problems, long-term mental health issues. Is this fund, are you looking at distributing these funds so that you have enough money to last going for years and years from now?
Well, we're going to do the best we can with the money that's raised. Again, there's going to be other sources of relief, and there already has been relief given and dollars given and aid and comfort given to the families. This is just one piece of it. But the more we raise, the more we can give. And that's what this community has been so generous so far to do $7.5 million. But we need to do more, because I want to make sure, as the chair of the steering committee, that we've got enough dollars in each one of these categories to make sure we're taking care of these people and their families.
Senator, thank you so much for joining us and for all you're doing for the victims.
Well, thank you for having me.